Wednesday to most of you, probably. But some of you are already on Thursday, in which case, you lucky bastards. You're already closer to the weekend than we are. Consultancy. This is a nice sound of that. Anyways, hello, Lugia, Techy, and Ran. God. Okay, so I really like these, like, little hand pies. I have an apple one here. But one issue is that, like, the last few that I've gotten have been super fucking sticky inside. It's a hand pie. Everything should be inside the pie. There should be nothing outside the pie. If something's outside the pie, we're doing something wrong. Just touching the wrapping is Why? Ugh. Really good though. Did you all know, for those on desktop, because I did not know this until like yesterday. It was yesterday or the day before. For those of you on desktop,
it's summer.
That is not what I'm looking to do. You can go to your you can look where if you're a member, you can look at that button and then there should be an option to gift memberships. That option should now be available to everyone. So, why is this important? Because you have to actually opt in as a YouTube user in order to receive gifted memberships. If you do not opt in, you will not be able to receive gifted memberships. So make sure you opt in. I have to go do that myself. I'm not 100% sure how, but I know it's something that must be done. So make sure you opt in. Otherwise, you won't be able to get a gifted membership. And that would be no fun, right? Rapper ASMR. Oh, and I don't want... It'd be fine if the wrapper was clean. The fact that the wrapper's sticky makes it all the more like... Oh, this room, it's been too long. It hasn't changed in the slightest, though. It's been some 6 months, hasn't it? That's a long time for things to say so familiar. I didn't know when you might return. I wanted everything to be as you'd left it. But it has been some 6 months, it's true. So is your father alright, Susie? What happened? Well, it was all a bunch of bullshit. My father? Yes, Professor Mikotoba. I mean, it was half a year ago, but that's why you went back to Japan. Because of the telegram you received saying you'd fallen ill with a very high fever for some unknown reason. That's right, so I was surprised to learn you'd be coming back so soon. Surprised but happy. Is that really soon? Yeah, bigger YouTubers have had it. For a few months now, but most of the smaller YouTubers, we have not had it until last week. Let's see, how about this? Opt into YouTube memberships. Opt in and get gift membership. Must be signed in. That isn't a brand account. Right now, channel members aren't eligible to get. Well, yeah, no shit. When within the live chat, tap or click allow gifts. Also do it on, remember, though, this you can only do on desktop. The gift membership thing is sort of only like desktop viable right now. Did I just say desktop viable? Desktop viable. Hold on. Let's I'm gonna add this as a command real quick. Man opt in. General. Channel out how to opt in here. Opt in. There you go. Hey, Matt, no problem, Lugia. Kayaking. You and my wife would get along. I'm not as much of a fan, but have fun. You like it, you like it. Maybe it's just because she only likes going kayaking in like mundane areas. I did it in the Bahamas once, that was pretty fun. But like now if I went anywhere else, I'm like, I do that for myself. I ruin it and then I don't allow myself to have fun. Like doing anything less than that. Ellipsis. I think I wrote about it in my letter to you. That was all a trick. My father's in fine health, and I'm obviously very relieved about that. What? It was a trick? Then why did it take you 6 goddamn months to get back here? Well, we're all delighted to have you back. It was quite by accident that I've been able to return to Europe, actually. Because of a very grand conference called the International Forensic Science Symposium. International Forensic, that's the same symposium Lord Strongheart mentioned. Actually, it's pretty fair, because it takes, what, 2 months? By boat? So, like, over the past 6 months, she's actually been at sea 4 of those months. 2 months to visit family probably isn't that, you know, big a deal. Yeah, that's fair. One thing I will say is it gets your fucking arms moving, man. It, like, my arms always come away burning. Anyway, I've arrived safe and sound, and all that matters is that I'm here now. After all, I haven't yet fulfilled my promise to you, Iris. Oh! You must tell us everything that happened while you were back in Japan. Yes, of course, I shall. And there's one other thing. Something you wrote in your letter that particularly grabbed my attention. Wait. So you read the letter, but you didn't know that it was a trick? How much of the letter did you actually read? Jeez, there's some slight disagreement over the hat. Like, it's interesting. It's got a, you know, kind of a unique design. So if you're into it, I totally get it. I'm just not personally, and I would much rather have the goggles without the hat. If you're gonna wear the goggles here, I don't think you wear the hat. And if you want the hat, I don't think you wear the goggles. Like Naruhodo's outfit is like he has the hat, or he doesn't have a hat, right? Oh, speaking of which, yeah, come on. Wish there was an easier toggle for this. We are out of court, which, when we're in investigation time, we're in our detective threads. She should not wear goggles correctly. Why would you even say such a thing? What? You've literally taken my breath away. Taken my breath away. About you know who. Oh, Voldemort. About Kazuma. No. I'll tell you all that I can. Jesus. When I first arrived back in Japan, I really thought I'd never be allowed to return to Britain. But curiously, after that awful trial at the Supreme Court, Father's mood changed entirely. The awful trial? Oh, yes, for the murder of Giselle Brett.
Oh, you dressed as a man then, didn't you, Susie?
Oh, well, yes. Since women are forbidden in the courtroom, I had no choice.
Wow, amazing! I wish I'd seen it! Don't you, Rudo?
Yes, I suppose so. What do you mean I suppose so? Shit was awesome!
I want to play at being a lawyer now. I could wear a false mustache, maybe.
I don't think any mustache could hide the fact that you're just 10 years old, Iris. There's something else I've been wanting to ask you, Mr. Susato. It's about the real reason why Professor Mikotoba summoned you back to Japan. Send your letter said something to do with the convict's loot we found in Mr. Natsume's lodgings. That's right. The very large dog collar we found with the bee emblem on it. It seems that Mr. Natsume included a drawing of the collar in the report he submitted about his time in Britain. I understand that when Father saw the report, he turned as white as a sheet. Why would that be, then? Father came to Britain himself, of course, to study. It was some time ago now, but he stayed for 6 years. I can only imagine that something must have happened during that time. But if he refuses to tell me what it was, then I intend to find the answers for myself. I've decided that I, for one, won't keep any more secrets.
Oh, Susie!
The very meaningful looks of Susato-san's giving Iris there. Duh! Are there specific reasons why you can't opt in? Do they, like, tell you? Because I know the problem is that the system's really limited now compared to Twitch. Twitch, there just needs to be an account, and you can get gifted subs. And gifted subs to bot accounts. Like, stay hydrated and feed. Oh, so you'd have to right, because that's your YouTube channel account. So you'd have to use whatever the parent account to the Lugia Master Brony account would be. Are you on desktop, Devin, or are you on mobile? Because it won't work on. There's no place for on mobile yet. You're on desktop. Lugia, where did you see it? Or Halucha? I guess Halucha, you were able to actually do it, so. Lord Strongheart mentioned something about that symposium too. I think he says that investigative authorities from 40 different countries would attend. Yes, and from Japan, my father and Judge Jigoku have been invited. Oh my god, we get the Giga Chad. Here. Oh! I'm very excited. So Techy, you won't see it because I think as long as you have a membership, you're not eligible to opt in.
Time to change fate!
Lugia Slow-Mo. Thank you for the sub. God, I have this Phoenix Wright alert that I've been like, all I have to do is put the audio in, and I've like procrastinated on it super long because I have to put my own audio in, and I'm like not really confident about it. Oh, never mind. Never mind. Maybe you can opt in, but you're just not eligible to get gifted the memberships because you already have one. Something of an honor, I believe. Well, Professor Mikitoba is the leading expert in forensic medicine in our country, after all. But who's the other person you mentioned? A judge, did you say? Yes, His Excellency, Judge Seishiro Jigoku. You've met him, Mr. Naruhodo. Last year, in the Supreme Court. You can't possibly have forgotten the first judge you've ever been in front of, you fucking twit. Yeah, right? And Iris, I feel like, is just as much of a genius as Francisca probably was. That terrible trial of yours, when you're accused of murder. Ah, yes, I try to think of that as a positive turning point in my life these days. Well, you can think of the judge positively, too, because he rendered the verdict. Actually 13. Well, it was Gigachad Jigoku who presided over that trial. If I'm perfectly honest, I'd be happy never to see that man's face again in my life. Oh well, anyway. His father wasn't invited to the symposium. He agreed to be returning to Britain too. I don't know why either. That seems really weird. Like, I'd love to know the reason. There has to be some reasoning behind it, because that's very specific. But yeah, I don't... There has to be some reason, but I don't know what it is. So, it's funny that Naruhodo says that. One of the things I tell my clients, once, like, our case is done, is, like... as like a parting joke, but not really sort of thing, is we always talk about, like, you know, we're giving our goodbyes or whatever, and I'm like, I understand that you will find most happiness if you never have to see me or another attorney ever again. It always gets a good laugh. It said variations of how I say it. It just depends on the conversation itself. It's true. If you're seeing me for something other than, like, just maintaining a, you know, your will or something like that, and even then, that's still bad. In that you're, what are you doing that for? For when you die. Otherwise, if you're seeing me, something's gone wrong. It's funny, our parent account is like, I think it's just all 4 of our names. Which, I guess that ain't getting no gifted subs. As a client, as a viewer, it's different. We're not actually in an attorney-client relationship. Oh, well, anyway, as father was invited to the symposium, he agreed to me returning to Britain too. I've said that already. He won't actually arrive until next month, but, well, I couldn't wait. So I pleaded with him, and in the end he agreed to me going on ahead. Yes, about the symposium, it seems as though Lord Strongheart has put in an awful lot of work to make it happen. It's obviously very important. I believe it is, yes. As I understand it, Lord Strongheart organized the entire event himself. I think he's hoping that by achieving exceptional results, he'll get the job of Attorney General. The most senior position in the British justice system. He's hoping to use his power to create the world's finest policing institution. Now see, this is another... So we've made the distinction that there's a difference between the Attorney General for the Crown and Chief Justice. Let me tell you, I don't think many people consider the head of the Department of Justice in the United States, which right now is Merrick Garland, to be more prestigious than being the Chief Justice of the Supreme Court, which John Roberts is. I think if you'd ask people, they'd see the Chief Justice as the more prestigious position, and it probably is, more objectively speaking. Of course, his whole thing of being Chief Justice isn't really It's obvious that what Chief Justice means in Britain is not what it means here. If you're a Chief Justice here, you're still a judge. So he'd still be presiding over court, which he's not, obviously. You get muted. I thought he just deleted your message.
That's what Father said anyway. Apparently it's Lord Strongheart's lifelong ambition.
Does Professor McPawggo know Lord Strongheart personally then, I wonder? Everybody knows fucking everyone in this universe. Including all those, jurors. Actually, Lord Strongheart gave me a long speech all about this very subject only yesterday. But I sort of lost the will to live early on and didn't really listen to much of it.
How trying for you.
Oh, what a hard life you live, having to listen to someone talk. Giselle Brett, the woman whose unforgivable actions ended in me being wrongly accused of a crime I didn't commit. The murder of Dr. John H. Wilson. Yes, Giselle Brett. That's a name I won't forget for as long as I live.
The extraordinary thing is, though, it seems it's a name we should all forget.
Sorry?
Since the incident, our government's intelligence services have been investigating Miss Brett. It turns out that an Englishwoman by the name of Giselle Brett didn't actually exist.
Didn't exist? But how can that be?
It was a pseudonym. Her real name was Sheen. But she wasn't a visiting student either. That was a front.
A front? Who on earth was she then?
Miss Asian.
Miss Asian? What am I missing?
Miss Asian? Miss Asian?
What's the word there? The pun. Miss Asian? I don't... That's not it! Oh, that is not it! Okay, alright, so we need her first name, that makes sense. Oh my god. Oh yeah, she would.
Her name is literally all our intelligence services have been able to ascertain about her. Nobody knows why or even how she came to be in Japan. It's a complete mystery.
But that makes no sense. It's no easy task to be accepted as a foreign student anywhere. What could the woman have been up to?
Dying, but anyways, besides that, I'm afraid I don't really know. The only thing we can be sure of is that she had some business in our country that we don't yet understand.
Maybe it has something to do with John H. Wilson and Howard the Baskerville and the big dog collar, blah, blah, blah. And now she's been killed. Well, all the questions surrounding her existence remain unanswered.
I'm afraid so.
Asian. What on earth was she? Why do I feel as though I've heard that name before somewhere? Have I? I honestly, if I've heard that, I do not remember.
After my friend Ray's trial, the reporter who actually killed Miss Brett said something very strange.
I don't remember this guy's voice. I know the truth. I know you had a hand in what went on. in that visiting student's fate. Nobody here in Japan knows anything about it. They don't know that the guy never made it to England. That he died on that steamship. And that he'll never.
Obviously, I couldn't ask him to elaborate at the time, because he was stark raving mad. Later, I visited the man in his prison cell and asked him what he was going to say about Kazuma-sama.
And what did you learn?
After he died on the voyage to Great Britain, his body should have been unladen at the port of Hong Kong and passed into the care of the consulate staff there.
Should have been?
Well, it turns out that his body never arrived. It just disappeared.
What? Kazuma's body vanished?
Our government tried to cover the fact up, it seems. They erected a grave on the cliffs by our hometown. Except Kazuma-sama isn't there.
I'm not going to be entirely pleased if what I think happened is what is happening. But I'm not going to speak it into existence. I just hope that's not the case. Did Professor Mikotomo know about this?
Yes, it would seem that he did, but he didn't tell me. They're still investigating what happened to Kazuma-sama's body as we speak.
I just don't believe it. What is this acute feeling of apprehension I have all of a sudden? It's called anxiety. Thinking back now, some of the things that happened on the SS Buria were definitely strange. I mean, after he died, we never saw his body again, did we? Could it be? Could it be he's actually still alive? Stop it, Mr. Naruhodo. It's too much to bear. Seriously, that would be fucking ridiculous. Oh, God. I don't like that. I don't like that. I'm sorry, I didn't mean to.
Just thinking about the possibility pains me so very much.
Cast your mind back for a moment, Mr. Naruhodo.
When Kazuma-sama was discovered, Mr. Sholmes was there, wasn't he? And he definitely examined the body. I remember it clearly.
Ah, you're right. So if Kazuma hadn't actually been dead at all, it'd mean that Mr. Sholmes had lied to us. Oh, and that can't possibly have been what happened, given that A, we have no fucking idea why he was where he was in the first place, and B, he has this really weird history with this one case that is obviously connected to everything. Ugh.
There's no reason why he would possibly have done such a thing.
That you know of. I suppose that's true, yes.
The idea that he might still be alive somewhere. It wants to fill me with hope, but I can't let it, because if it turned out not to be true, then I'd be back at the bottom of that awful pit of despair again. I'm terrified of what that might do to me.
Oh, Miss Susato. I know she's given the idea the thought it deserves. Susato-san we're talking about, after all. So I probably shouldn't push it now. I can't move. She's just been listening this whole time.
Wow, that must have been a very intense conversation. I have no idea what's going on. It must be about a year now. I want a really long story based on some of my father's own notes. About one of Hurley's greatest exploits. It's called The Hounds of Baskervilles.
But then Mr. Shulms forbade you from publishing it and put the manuscript somewhere nobody could get their hands on it.
Nobody knows anything about it apart from Hurley and I. For some reason, you knew the title of it, didn't you, Susie? And you wouldn't tell me how'd you come to know it.
Yes, but I made you a promise that I would explain one day, didn't I? I think it's time.
Oh! Fuck yeah!
I'm really sorry I've had to keep it from you for so long, Iris. Oh. Oh. Oh no. It's completely by accident that I came to know the title of your manuscript, Iris. It was a short while before we left Japan. I was cleaning Father's study and I saw something on his writing desk. A large box of papers. There was a label affixed to the box that was written in English. It read, The Hound of Baskervilles.
What? My Baskervilles? Whoa! Dyslexia! My Baskerville story?
Of course, I had no idea what it was at the time, but Father came in and... Susato, what are you doing? Oh, Father. Did you look at those papers?
No, I simply read the label, that's all.
Well, put it out of your mind. Sorry? Forget that you ever saw it, and certainly don't tell anybody else about this. Do you understand? When will adults learn? Doing shit like that just makes us want to know more. You're creating mystery. Nothing more intriguing than a mystery. Ah, it's so sticky. Why? Doesn't a machine wrap this? How'd it fuck it up? Fuck! God damn it. So it is related to your sense of arousal. That is quite the connection you guys have there. Okay, so for those that missed it, I was eating an apple hand pie. You know, the stuff you can get at like gas stations. And I really enjoy them, but the last few that I've gotten have all been super fucking sticky inside. I don't know why. It kind of doesn't make much sense. Unless somebody came by and crushed them all. Because all the stuff is supposed to be inside the pie. There shouldn't be anything outside the pie. The exterior should only be the pie itself. And I just got to the bottom of it. Unintended. That's where it was stickiest. Yeah, which like the Hostess ones are good, but the ones I get are Miss Freshly's. They tend to be bigger than the Hostess ones, so I feel like you're getting more for your money. Yeah, I mean they taste better too. It's not that the Hostess ones taste bad. That these just taste a little better. I'll be right back. I'm gonna wash my hands real quick. I think most Hostess stuff is pretty. It's not that it tastes bad, it's just that a lot of Hostess stuff is very generic. Like you taste it and you're like, that's thoroughly mediocre. So yeah, like I don't tend to buy that stuff myself. Ham pies are a little better than their normal like cupcakes and shit though. No, right. Oh. Man's also pun intending? Question mark? But what was Iris's manuscript doing in Japan? I have no idea. When I heard Iris mention the word Baskerville that day, the title just slipped out. Never have guessed that it was an unpublished account of one of Mr. Shome's exploits. What? Ah! Stop that. When I returned to Japan, I asked Father to explain, but that motherfucker didn't say shit. That box was gone. I have no doubt that Father has a very good reason for being so secretive about it. It's such a douche, but still. I made up my mind to explain myself to both of you.
Thank you for being so honest, Susie. So, Miss Naruhodo, I'm ready to start investigating if you are. I've committed every detail about the case to memory. Iris has told me about the disturbing happenings at the Waxwork Museum as well.
So, you're fully abreast of the situation already, Miss Susato. I'd expect nothing less, to be honest.
I think our first port of call should be to investigate this Mr. Drebber, the engineer responsible for building the elaborate machine that was used to effect this extraordinary trick.
Yes, a conjurer of sorts by the sound of it, well known to the fields of science and magic.
Then we need to go and arrest him.
Well, yes. Of course, we don't have the authority to do that. You must know the truth behind this case, so I agree we really do need to find him, man.
It sounds like a case of tracking someone down. Which is a job for the police, or a great detective.
I'm supposed to guess who she might be thinking of. We don't have much time, so we need to get started right away, I think. Straight away.
Good idea. Well, best of luck then.
Oh, you're not coming today?
I'm going to Brixton Road shortly for the herb market. Let me know later how you got on, won't you?
That was a little abrupt. The pull of the herb market must be strong. There you go, Lugia. Probably just make your... Wait. Oh. Probably just make that account a mod too. No. Well, I don't know if it would work here. Because the way they do things might be a little different. But, I mean... You have to have probable cause under common law. Probable cause to believe that the individual has committed a felony. I don't think you have probable cause here yet. But, I mean, that's based in English law. So, it was more encouraged there, so it might be more viable here than it would be in the States. But yeah, it's it depends on where you are. Some places have more restrictive requirements, like Georgia. But I mean, like, it's really risky to do that. Because if you are at all wrong, you are facing lawsuits. At least civil suits, possibly even criminal charges. It is very risky. The herb market. I didn't even think about that. Susato getting that kush. The pull of the herb market is very strong for some. Lord Chief Justice's office, the prison, experiment stage. Where? They said they added one. I don't see what they added. But it's obvious that we have to go to here, 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 and here.
I had no idea there were so many people in the world.
Wow. That depresses you, huh? I guess that would make sense if you think they're all shitty. I know what you mean. It's really packed here today.
It feels as though it's taken us 2 hours just to make our way through the crowds to this point.
Has it? I shut my brain down, so I didn't really notice, to be honest. Must be nice. Gosh, I do wish I had your absence of mind sometimes, Miss Naruhodo. Right?
There you are! I had a feeling you lot would show your mugs before long.
Oh no, I thought you had lot would show your mugs before long. Sorry, I thought that was Gina, didn't you? I got a pretty good impression of Miss Lestrade, I do say so myself.
Oh, Inspector Gregson, I see you're hard at work as usual.
Bothering us?
Warm greetings to you. I do hope you've been keeping well since we last met.
What's with all the ceremony? We just saw each other in court this morning.
Not you, Sunshine. The gentlewoman so loyally at your side.
Oh! Why, thank you, Inspector. How good of you to notice.
God, can we take a second to once again acknowledge the banger that is this song? He might be a bit rough around the edges, but he's still a proper English gentleman at heart, I suppose. As you've probably guessed, we were hoping to investigate the scene some more.
Right, well, that's the young trainee's domain.
Really? 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 You're putting that responsibility in the trainee over there who can't get her hands off that fucking dog? Which, don't get me wrong, I understand, but that's why I'm not being put in charge of that. It really does. It really does. Oi, get over here, Gina. She seems to be busy playing with the puppy. Probably giving it a traditional East End training.
Gina? She's a police officer now?
Amazing, isn't it? Top 3 anime, best twists of anime of all time. Amazing, isn't it?
She's a good kid, actually. Heart's in the right place, anyway. She's got the detection bug, if you ask me.
She also has the theming bug. Just gotta work that out of her.
Yep, I think she'll follow in my footsteps nicely.
What do you mean?
I'm being transferred. Time for me to say toodaloo to London.
What? Please don't tell me this case is the last time we hear his theme.
Oh no, really?
That's a bit sudden, isn't it? I had no idea. Where are you going to be posted then? We'll come to see how you're getting along.
Haha, not likely. But you're welcome to try. If you don't mind a trip to France, that is.
To France?
I'll be working in the Paris Police Prefecture. Should be right up my alley.
Oh yeah, because that's what Gregson screams is Paris Police Prefecture. But France! It's an entirely different country. I don't understand. Why would you be sent there?
That's the way the adult world works, Sunshine. They're not gonna poke your nose in where it's not wanted.
See, that's just such a stupid response. Of course we know that's not just the way the adult world works. Things happen for reasons. Either you piss someone off or you have like some covert operation that you're engaging in and you can't tell us. Just say that shit.
I'm intending to take the kid with me when I go.
Well, could the news get any worse? Could the news get any goddamn worse? What? You're taking Gina to Paris?
Well, I can't leave her here in London. Who knows what'll become of her?
Give her to one of the other police officers. It's not like you're the only fucking police officer in Scotland Yard. Suppose he's worried she'd slip back into slipping her hands into people's pockets and purses. Just put her under the supervision of another officer. Oh my god. He better not be fucking worried about the Reaper. I don't think he's worried about her pickpocketing, Mr. Naruhodo. I think he's worried about the Reaper. Oh, of course! Of course! You're worried about this imaginary thing that isn't actually real. Some myth. Thank you, Fedora the Explorer, for the sub. Nice name. Better take the dog with him too. Just kick me in the nuts. So that's playing on Inspector Gregson's mind too, isn't it? How unscientific.
Anyway, I haven't mentioned any of this to Gina, so don't go blabbing, you hear me?
No, of course not, because why wouldn't you tell her that you're taking her to fucking Paris for an extended period of time?
Gotta keep the Dive Diva safe in town.
The Dive and Diva. Diva is not one word I would attribute to Gina. Till all this is over, at least. Oi! You just called me a bloomin' diva, Dive and Diva again?
So you heard that, did you? Alright, well, any questions about the scene? You can put them to my capable detective diva here.
Alright, you heard the boss. Inspector Lestrade's in charge here now. Suppose I'd better keep my word and not mention anything about Paris. So, Gina, you got a new dog, have you?
Congratulations!
That might be the cutest, like, animation in all of Ace Attorney. Happy Toby giving Happy Gina kisses. Agreed. 24/7 security detail, please. Hey, my Lucy has a bandana on right now too, incidentally. Isn't he great? Toby's his name. Oh, how delightful! He's absolutely adorable. Yes, the dog does seem lovely, but it's the not so lovely Inspector Gregson that's playing on my mind, to be honest. Oh, it matches too. Gina, we're actually hoping that we could investigate the scene again. Yeah, alright. If it's around here, you can do what you like.
Oh, that's all right, is it?
I'm gonna be playing with my new friend here.
Ah, yes, Toby. Her face! Her face! I gotta go take a still image of that! Oh, God! No. Not the smiling face when he barked and she's like... It's just when she throws her head back. Oh, God.
The machine that exploded must be at the top of those stairs, I presume? Haven't actually seen it yet, so if you don't mind. Sorry, you can't go up there, Suze. Oh! It's like I told Odo yesterday. You and I ain't allowed near that wreck. What's it called again? The reason we ain't supposed to touch it? The special dispensation for scientific equipment act? Is that what you were thinking of? That's the one! That's why only them lot are allowed to investigate it. What are they called again? The forensic something? The forensic investigation team? Is that what you were thinking of? Yeah, that's the one, yeah! But isn't it the case that the special dispensation has been lifted? I think so. I don't really get it, to be truthful with you. You're still supposed to get permission from some bigwig or other, as far as I know. What was his name again? Lord Strange something? Alright, so we gotta go to Strongheart. I'm not sure that's quite right, Gina. I think you mean Lord Strongheart, perhaps? That's the one, yeah! Apparently he's always watching the time or something. So without Lord Strongheart's express permission, we can't investigate on the stage. Okay, well, we'll go talk to Lord Strongheart. Oh, that's right. So normally Evil Garbage Man Day is Tuesday. But when there's a holiday, a federal holiday, like the 4th of July was on Monday, it gets pushed back a day. So even Evil Garbage Man Day gets moved to Wednesday. No, she can't. That's all in my headphones. She can't hear it. She does do that, though. Not all dog barks, but there are some that will elicit responses from her in games or television. If you really want to get a response from her every time, put on a baby crying. I kind of want you two guys to hear it, but I also don't want to be a dick. No. Maybe we'll do it if she comes in here. What is it? What is it? The evil garbage man out there? Guarding. She's guarding me. I appreciate your protection.
Oh, that's interesting. Wonder why.
It was great, wasn't it? I had a right laugh. It was a new one on me, that. You know, being in court and not spending the whole time worrying I'm about to be found out. Did keep an awful lot of secrets in all your previous court appearances, didn't you? Yeah, and Odo's made things and... Wait. Oh, yeah, and Odo's made things odd for me every single time and all.
It's doing my job, Gina. Getting you off of murder charges, you know.
But watching someone else get it in the neck is a lot of fun, actually. It's amazing when you showed that dodgy professor's dodgy experiment was a total fix. The dodgy professor... The dodgy professor, as you put it, Gina, is Mr. Naruhodo's client.
Yes, I'm starting to wish he wasn't, though.
It's a boss I feel sorry for, sent off to do the impossible. What do you mean? He's supposed to arrest that other cove, ain't he? And in time for tomorrow and all. You know, dodgy engineer, what's his name again?
Mr. Drebber, you mean?
Enoch Drebber. Yeah, that's the one, yeah. So the police are looking for this mysterious man with the black monocle.
I guess they would be. Just as we are.
Putting too much on the boss, if you ask me. He says it's giving him gut ache.
They're almost as valuable to her as any piece of spoiled food. I know, right? That's high praise. Of course, the only reason I am is because I can give her said food.
Oh dear, but I do wonder if that isn't actually from all the fried food.
What? Hey, what's up, Amir? So Scotland Yard are trying to track down Mr. Enoch Drebber. I wonder if they've had any luck.
He's really funny looking. Got two eyes what don't match. Stole a glimpse of a picture of him earlier. I mean, I didn't actually pinch it or nothing. Oh, Devil's got it. Sorry, who? You know, that Scowling Reaper was always glugging down glasses of that blood-red plonk. Ah, Lord Van Zieks. He's always had it in for me, that cove. Don't know what he's always scowling about mine. Probably would have been a pretty good boss as it goes.
You'd rather be the Reaper's apprentice than a detective's trainee? The way I see it, if the choice is between a chip-guzzling detective and a chalice-glugging demigod, you're equally badly off with both.
I suppose you're right. I hadn't thought of it like that.
Glad we put that one to bed. You swung down from like 5 meters.
What? What? Anyway, the point is, everyone at the yard's dead set on finding the fishy engineer. But there don't seem to be no clues to go on, so they're stuck.
There's nothing that can lead us to Drebber at all? Where'd you find that little mutt, Gina?
Oi! Don't be flaming rude, Odo!
Slight overreaction, don't you think?
He ain't no mutt, alright? Toby's, how'd they put it? Oh yeah, a bona fide detective. A bona fide detective. Bona fide. Bona fide detective.
Sorry?
I've given him a proper title and everything. It's Chief Inspector Toby to you.
More senior than Inspector Gregson, is he? Of course he is, he's a dog.
Oh, he's a police dog, is he?
Police recruit dogs now? I
I've heard that they're already being used officially in Germany as a part of their city policing. They're used for chasing criminals and such like. They have a wonderful sense of smell, after all.
I have a fairly good sense of smell myself, as it happens. I can tell undergarments that have been freshly laundered from undergarments that... haven't. That's pretty general. Are you talking about everyone around you?
That's nothing compared to this little fella, Odo.
Oh, really?
Oh, yeah.
He could probably tell you exactly when the last time you fucking washed them were.
According to what the boss said. Once Toby has got a good whiff of your drawers.
Damn it, do it again! Her face, she's like...
He could chase that set to the other side of the world.
What? To the other side of the world?
You mean he can swim? Mr. Naruhodo, I think you may have missed the point by rather a wide margin. Pacific Ocean wide margin.
I just can't believe this little dog is such an incredible skill.
I'm telling you, Odo, there's gotta be more and more dogs doing their bit for the police in the future. Yes, I agree. Right, one of these days, they'll be barking orders at us lot, not the other way around. Oh dear, sorry Gina, I don't think I agree with your vision quite that much. Oh, anyway, whatever you think about that, Toby's here. Toby is Britain's first police dog. Found him down the East End the other day. Someone had just chucked him out on the street.
Who could throw that little dog away? There you go. I knew she'd lifted him from somewhere. She didn't lift him from anywhere. Somebody threw him out. She adopted him. Don't you dare call adoption lifted, you piece of shit.
Oh, Gina, you're such a kind-hearted soul, aren't you? To children and to animals.
Let's go to... Okay.
Oh, who's that standing beside Lord Strongheart? I wonder. I've never seen her before.
Oh, the young champion of the court! You had some success this morning, I understand. And you've thrown the entire government into disarray as a result. Oh! You mean because of Professor Harebrain's experiment? Sham science being demonstrated at London's Great Exhibition. The country's been made to look foolish, and now politicians are scrabbling to respond. Lord Van Zieks is in Whitehall as we speak, giving an emergency briefing. Oh dear, I didn't mean to cause any trouble. None of this is your responsibility. The government is entirely to blame for having been taken in. The special dispensation that prevents investigation at the scene will be annulled later today. Once that happens, my forensic investigation team will move in and deal with that scrap metal in no time. Scrap metal now, is it?
Until then, Lord Strongheart.
Yes, thank you. Yeah, right. Who was that? One of his fit team. That was Dr. Courtney Sithe. Sithe?
Sith? 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 What is it, damn it?
It is the coolest to pronounce Scythe, which was why it was my first.
Courtney shite. Sithe.
That was Dr. Courtney Scythe, Scotland Yard's esteemed chief coroner. He's leading the forensic investigation team's handling of this case. She was just delivering her report about the victim, in fact. Oh, I see. About Mr. Asman. Well, let's see. How to pronounce Scythe. Are you guys ready?
Scythe. Scythe.
Really?
Scythe. Scythe.
Okay, let's corroborate this. High quality voices. This is all too much for a pronunciation video.
Scythe.
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 I feel like that's less.
Thanks for watching.
I feel like that's less high quality voices and just different voices. Gotta include the music when you pronounce the name. All right, so every time we see her, we ask me like da 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 da.
Scythe.
Following the outcome of the trial earlier, I asked the coroner's office to reevaluate its findings. I don't have time to tell you what she's concluded. If you want to know, you'll have to ask her directly. You can find her in the forensics laboratory. Fucking Dexter's lab has ruined that word for me. I can't say laboratory anymore. It's all laboratory. Ah, right. Actually, CJ, how would you pronounce laboratory? You would pronounce it laboratory, right? Not laboratory? It's Scythe. Not sight. Or not Scythe. But Scythe. Close to Scythe. Just lab. What was a synonym for bathroom? Oh, lavatory. Yeah. So it's not laboratory or laboratory. That is a lab. You're thinking of a laboratory. I have not heard that word used for bathroom in a very, very long time. Hold on, I just realized I had to address some potential plans today.
There we go.
Was Dexter like freaking out? Aren't labs like super smart? I don't really know a ton about labs other than the way they look. I thought I had heard that they were really smart. Now, what were you here to see me about? I can give you 7 minutes and 39 seconds of my time. It's not running quite so spectacularly late anymore. Well, yeah, he said he was like 9 hours late for that meeting or some shit. What exactly is the forensic investigations team that you mentioned before? The British Empire's police force must become the most exemplary in the world. For that to happen, it's imperative that we embrace forensic science and everything it has to offer. I first created the forensic investigation team a year ago now, unofficially of course, to pave the way.
Goodness, a year ago?
Next month's symposium, I intend to present the results of their work to the world. Once I do that, the House of Lords will be powerless to oppose the creation of a full-scale forensics division. And once that happens, the position of Attorney General will be mine, and criminals will suffer dearly. What do you mean? For too long, those scoundrels have made a mockery of our legal system with false evidence and bribes. But London's scum is about to be rounded up and burnt in the fires of hell. God damn, dude! Why we gotta bring the fires of hell into this? I intend to see to it personally. I will escort them to hell myself. Like, have some thunder in the background or some shit? Like, Jesus Christ. Yeah, something a normal person definitely says. By creating the finest police force the world has ever known to protect our honor and our future. There just has to be bird shit everywhere, right? Look at those eyes. He means every word. Dr. Sithe is an extremely reliable coroner. When I officially establish the forensic division at Scotland Yard, she will run it as my right-hand woman. As well as lending me her right hand. Oh, you know what I mean. Now then, speaking of the symposium, Miss Mikotoba.
Oh, yes, my lord.
Your father should be on the high seas as we speak, making his way here to represent the Empire of Japan.
Yes, that's right. I understand he will arrive at the beginning of next month.
Are you acquainted, Lord Strongheart? With Professor Mikotoba, I mean. It was many years ago now, but yes. I remember Dr. Mikotoba very well. If my memory serves, it was some 15 years ago now that your father came to Britain as a visiting student.
It was the year I was born, so yes, 16 years ago, in fact.
Wait, she was born here? Or was she born in Japan and then he came over here? He spent 6 years away from his just born daughter? Ah, that's rough. That sucks. He went to get some milk and cigarettes. Yeah, sorry. I know my questions can be ambiguous as to whether I want them answered or not. Assume they're rhetorical, unless A, it has absolutely nothing to do with the plot. Like somebody said, oh, you won't know her pun until you get the full name. All right, well that makes sense. That doesn't really spoil anything, right? Other than there is no pun yet. Or I specifically ask, like, you guys can answer. I really want to know this. But that's my bad. Hey, Tom, what's up, dude? How are things? Every shot from Japan to London was out of milk. Cereal's still dry to this day. His cigarette pocket ain't though. Mikotoba was a young practitioner of forensic science. Mikotoba was a young practitioner of forensic science, and Jigoku, or Giga Chad as he is known around these parts, hey, around our parts too, accompanied him as a young promising judge. The punctiliousness. I know what that means by the context and like the roots, but I have never seen that word before. The punctiliousness and politeness of the Japanese at the time impressed us greatly. Not that I wish to imply impoliteness or carelessness on your part in any way. I didn't think that you were. Well, you should have a little bit at least. Dr. Mikotoba studied forensics at one of London's large hospitals. Yeah, it's regarding their punctuality. I have heard quixotic before.
Jesus fucking, are you kidding me?
I have heard that word before. Now I can't talk because I've definitely got a, man, you really talk like that in real life, huh? Comment from friends before for certain words that I would say. But then again, it would get exaggerated to some degree. Like they would say that I would say words that I never did actually say. Indubitably is a really popular one. Like I don't think I've never said that word around them. But that's their imitation of me, which is, I mean, they poke fun. I take it as a compliment. Oh, I'm not ashamed of it. It's just funny. I find it fun. Well, if you can't laugh at yourself, sort of thing. Saint Sinners, of course, if I'm not mistaken. A little on the nose. Dr. Sithe Sithe. Yeah. Dr. Sithe was also there then, as it happens.
Then Dr. Sithe knows my father, does she?
She was a young medical assistant at the time, so I doubt their paths crossed regularly. But I've no doubt that they knew each other superficially. After all, Dr. Mikotoba was here studying his subject for some 6 years in total. 6 years? That's a long time to be studying abroad, isn't it?
I lived with my grandmother in those years.
So he left his newly born daughter behind and went overseas for 6 whole years? How'd you not ask that question yourself earlier? You self-absorbed twit.
It was a rather turbulent time at home. Oh, perhaps Father wanted a reason to get away.
What do you mean? Why? Well, clearly something was going on at the time. Yeah, he just had to get away from his daughter. Jesus Christ. That's not a bad, that's not a good optic, I must say. In double bubbly. Indubitably. Dirty deeds done dirt cheap. Filthy acts at a reasonable price. Excellent. Excellent. Although I do like the former too. If you can put it that way, where all the words are the same first letter, by all means. I wanted to ask you about Lord Van Zieks, actually. Heard that his older brother was killed some years ago by a mass murderer known as the Professor, who targeted nobles and royalty. Is that right? You Japanese are a thorough lot. You've done your research well. Yes. And you could say it was that very incident that gave rise to the Reaper. What? Why? When his brother, Clint Van Zieks, was murdered, it was just after young Barrack had graduated from the University of London and become a prosecutor. When obvious criminals who managed to evade conviction in court started disappearing, rumors quickly spread throughout the capital. Londoners started to say that wherever Barrack Van Zieks went, the ghost of his dead brother wasn't far behind. Oh my word! So Lord Van Zieks isn't the Reaper. It's the ghost of his brother? That's a little more interesting. Ever since that time, he became a very aloof figure in London's legal circles. Oh yes, Lord Strongheart. Go ahead. You have 25 seconds left. It's about Professor Harebrain's experimental machine. We'd like your permission to examine the remains if possible. Are you well versed in science then? Not in the slightest. In fact, you could say I was barely aware of the subject at all until recently. Way to sell yourself there. Well, a special dispensation legally prevented investigation of the machine is currently being annulled. In a few hours, Dr. Sithe's team of forensic experts will begin their own investigation. I suppose until then, there's no harm in you looking at the wreckage as long as you touch nothing. Thank you. Being able to look at it is better than nothing.
And I'll be able to see it too.
Your time is up. You'll have to excuse me now, I'm afraid. My next engagement calls.
We are extremely sorry to have troubled you when you are so busy, my lord.
I have important matters to attend to in preparation for the symposium, you understand? You know, so that probably comes off as like kind of dickish and like stuffy and unapproachable. But the fact that you can go into his office whenever and have, even if it's a short conversation with him, is actually pretty fucking cool. You will not have that ability in many places in the United States, especially Chief Justices. Like, you definitely have to schedule that shit in advance. Yeah, right, CJ? That would be, that wouldn't be incorrect. Oh, yeah, it definitely would. Ah, we got permission. Gina, we were actually hoping that we could investigate the scene again. Yeah, all right. It's around here. You can do what you like. Oh, that's all right. That's all right, is it? Talked about this already. We'll be playing with my new friend here. Deja vu. The machine that exploded must be at the top of those stairs, I presume? I haven't actually seen it yet, so if you don't mind, I'm just gonna repeat this. Sorry, can't go up there, Suze. Oh? Like I told her yesterday. Blah, blah, blah. What's it called? That's the one. Fit. Yep, that's the one. Yeah, but you gotta get permission from some dude, strange something. Lord Strongheart? Yeah, that's the one. Actually, we just recently been to see Lord Strongheart. Ah, you what? You met him? We met him many times, Gina. Last time the boss was called to go in and see him, he waited for 3 hours at the Cove's office and came back sniveling. Yeah, fucking... The fact that he just talks in Naruhodo, that's favoritism. Tragic. Could just be that he likes talking to lawyers and not police officers. Hey, Lord Strongheart has given us permission to examine the scene as long as we touch nothing. Oh yeah? Honestly. Alright then, go ahead. But if it turns out you're lying, it'll be the boss who gets it. He'll never eat another chip again in his life. So, still saying all this is above board, are you? I'm gonna use this barking break to go get another soda. I'll be right back. Found the crumbs of the pie on the chair. Decided they were her crumbs. So you're still saying this is all above board, are you? I'm sure everything will be fine. It really would be tragic. Alright then, them's the stairs, off you go. Oh, thank you, Gina. Nope, that's not where I meant to fuck. God damn it. I believe this is it. Dr. Sithe's laboratory. That chemical smell really assaults the nose. And there's plenty to assault the eyes in here, too. Looks as though the doctor isn't here. We're here now, so we may as well do some sightseeing, don't you think? What a seasoned tourist you become, Mrs. Susato. Have a little look around. Careful not to upset any restless souls. Actually, no. Meant to fuck the stairs, not the forensics lab. In years. Wow. Good for you. I'm pretty much addicted to soda again. Although I usually drink Coke Zero, I thought I was getting Coke Zero, and it turned out I was not paying attention very carefully to the box. Cherry Coke Zero. I did force myself to stop buying the cherry vanilla Coke Zero because I could not stop drinking that shit. That's a good way to do it. One reason I don't like 2 liters is if I get a 2 liter, I will never finish it before it goes flat. Which, that's a good thing in that I'm actually drinking less soda, but actually I'm not. Because what it actually does is make it a condensed period of time. I feel like I need to drink more. I don't know. Maybe it is less. Anyways, it feels like a waste because I don't ever get a chance to drink all of it. Well, la-di-da. Mr. Indiscriminate Taste Buds. Takes a lot less than a week here for whatever reason. Maybe 3 days. I think that's day 4 is probably when you're starting to push it. I do not like flat soda.
Oh, so this is the death ray. I mean, machine. I was used to deceive people into thinking instantaneous kinesis had taken place.
Teetotal? What's that? I honestly have never seen that word before. I'm sure there are people out there that really like flat soda. In fact, I know one person, they don't like carbonation in general, though. So it's like, it's not that they intentionally make soda flat. They just won't drink soda in general because they don't like carbonation. They just avoid it altogether. I would agree with that person. I think it's when you drink alone, when you start drinking alone, that you really start to drift into the, I shouldn't do it as much as I do. And by as much as I do, I drink alone once a week. And I probably shouldn't even do that. You get too comfortable with just doing it whenever then, and that is when things can go off the rail. That's also a good point. A way to help yourself feel your yourself in terms of like your groove, your sweet spot. What's too little, what's too much. See, Trep's a little bit of a sadomasochist. He likes the pain of the burn. To me, it's not that it's boring to drink alone. As someone with anxiety, it is not boring to drink alone. Because my mind's going a lot. My mind is everywhere. The problem is that it's depressant. So, like, I'm more likely when I'm alone to think about, like, depressing shit. And so it's more sad than lonely, than lonely. Well, sherry is awesome and should be drank more than cooked with. Although it is good with cooking. People assume you can't drink it. Can. Yeah, that's not a good look for the church. Oh god, no, alcohol tastes terrible. It all tastes terrible. You don't drink it because it tastes good. You drink it because it fucks you up. And it makes you feel good. Then you gotta deal with everything else that's associated with it. And that's on a person-by-person basis as to whether that's worth it for you. And whether it's a good thing to do. Yeah, that's a big reason why I don't like beer either. Beer tastes like alcohol, and bad alcohol at that. At least with mixed drinks, like if I have a rum and Coke, that's still, like, you still taste the rum, the alcohol. It's not that rum tastes good, but rum is pretty sweet, at least. And with the Coke, it's not terrible. Yeah, but sweet wine is interesting in that, especially carbonated sweet wine, because you can't drink a ton of it because it's going to give you gut rot really fast. So you're not going to drink enough of it to, like, get drunk. In which case, why not just drink the soda instead? It's more for... You treat it as a dessert, whereas you don't really treat soda like that. You get like a port wine that has like a chocolate taste to it, that can be really good. Gut rot's just when you feel like you have too much, you've had too much sugar intake and your stomach hurts. It's just a very, like, you can tell. Like, sometimes you have a stomach ache and you don't know why. You can generally tell why you have this stomach ache. Girly drinks are absolutely the best. So the whole girly drinks thing were created by guys who didn't want to feel insecure that they couldn't afford anything more than dollar natty ices. And so they instead turn it around and insult other people for having more expensive, tastier drinks. It's fucking stupid. It only has something to do with manly in that it's manly insecurity and penis envy. I wonder how many people under the age of 21 drink before they're 21. I would have to say a good majority will have had at least one drink. Some people like that loss of control, though. Not necessarily a loss of control of their faculties, but it can make you... It numbs your senses from things you don't want to feel temporarily. The problem is that then on the come down against a depressant, you might end up feeling that stuff worse after the fact. So that's when the cycle continues. Well, now I'm feeling it again. Well, now I have to drink more. That's when you become an alcoholic. Yeah, that sort of makes sense, dog. That doesn't surprise me. You accidentally smoked when you were 10. Whoops. Minor issue. Pun intended. I mean, I've talked about this before. I don't even care about the anonymity of it personally, because it's not like anything's gonna change. I had my first drink of alcohol when I was like, it was like 6 or 7. I really wanted to try some beer. So I convinced my grandfather to let me have a sip, and that motherfucker knew what he was doing, because I took a sip of that Pabst Blue Ribbon, and that shit was garbage. And I kept that taste with me for the rest of my life. Beer is no good. And I've known it since I was 6 or 7, one of the two. And then my first, like, full drink, actually, I had a full drink at a comedy club with my parents, because here you can buy alcohol for your kids if they're with you. I think it's up to a certain amount of drinks. But one thing my mom got me, I think I was 16 or 15, about to turn 16, was a Grasshopper, which is this dessert alcohol drink that actually that tastes really good. It's basically like a shake that has alcohol in it. It's like mint chocolate chip. If you've ever had like Grasshopper flavored stuff, it's normally mint and chocolate. And that was really good. One of the reasons we did that was because even though I was a minor, so I wasn't on the 2-drink minimum, but it could be one of her drinks if she got me a drink. So she only had the 1 drink then instead of having 2, because she didn't want to. So she thought that would be okay. I only had the 1 drink, and it was really good. I didn't get drunk off that or anything. Then, it was when I was a junior in high school that I had my first, like, we got a bottle of Smirnoff Raspberry. I don't even remember how we got it, but we got it. We emptied out, like, this much of a 16-ounce of Sprite bottle and filled it all with Smirnoff. We got fucked up on that 1 drink. Oh, boy. Oh, yeah. Whew. Me, KY, Carmello all got just destroyed on that shit. Oh, I agree. Like, you're gonna get me to drink this piece of shit that has a 4.5% alcohol by volume, at least with wine? Even if wine has its own issues, that shit has a lot more alcohol in it to warrant actually drinking it. That and red wine can be beneficial to your body in some ways and in a very small amount. Damn. Just fucking down in that apple wine. So beer tastes like more than fizz. It tastes like, think if you took some water, you add some carbonation to it, and you pissed in it. That's what it tastes like. Yeah, better to be a tired drunk than an aggressive drunk. I'm a very fun drunk, and I feel very fortunate. I think there's not a person alive who will tell you that I'm anything other than super goofy. Like laughing and stuff. I mean, some of you have seen it before. Susato, we are waiting for the dog to... stop interrupting me. I don't get it. Why is this... There's only one truck today. Why has the truck been around here 3 goddamn times? It should only go through my neighborhood once. We should hear it once coming back around the alley, going out, coming back this way. And if it has to come back down this way, 2 times. Okay, 2 times. 3 times means your route is fucking unoptimized. And you are wasting your time. And being really fucking annoying. Their loud ass truck. I understand her irritation. The truck's fucking loud to be around this quiet residential area 3 goddamn times in a single day. She brings up some interesting points. Have you been using foul language? What did I tell you about foul language? Hey! Hey! Lucy. Lucy! In here. We need to discuss your language. Are you using foul language? What have I told you about using foul language? And we don't use foul language. Now I know you're probably looking at me and saying, but Daddy, you use foul language all the time. And I'll tell you something my hypocritical parents would always tell me. Do as I say and not as I do. Just because your daddy has the vocabulary of a drunken sailor, does not mean you too should have vocabulary of a drunk. Also because you don't want to get in trouble with other adults. Once you're an adult, who cares? Although I guess you are an adult. In doggy year. By now, right? Isn't that how it works? Oof. X. There, lay down. Come on, lay down. This way. Yes, that's right. Or rather, it was the machine. It's a little worse for wear at the moment. Extraordinary lengths Professor Harebrain went to in order to obtain the research grant. No. The professor was tricked as well. He didn't know anything about it. Yes, of course. It is amazing, though, isn't it? The scale of the whole affair is so very British. Right about that. I haven't seen such a grand deception in Japan, that's for sure. Oh, look, is that?
Lord Van Zieks?
So, I think we're more or less done here, aren't we? Shall we, Miss Susato?
Already?
He is the Reaper, remember? No. No! Didn't we just establish that the Reaper's his brother and not him? Right before this? And we had to have learned that before we got to this point. We'd do well to keep our distance, I think.
We have permission to be here from the top. We're perfectly well allowed to investigate this machine, as long as we don't touch anything.
From the top? You mean Lord Strongheart?
Exactly. So we can stay here and stare at this wreckage for as long as we like.
Could have been at the center of the explosion here, and it wouldn't have bent her steel will. Dude does have long legs and a short torso. He is the opposite of a swimmer's body. Yeah, right? I don't care that the dude's fucking racist or whatever, just the Reaper thing. Well, just get this over with. Least approachable man in the world winner, 10 years in a row. Be strong, Mr. Naruhodo. Your country and your assistants stand behind you. Lord Van Zieks, What? Well, beautiful weather we're having, isn't it? I thought I was making it quite clear that I didn't want to be disturbed. Did you see the scowl on my face? Apparently you Nipponese are unequipped to read the signs.
Jesus fucking, are you kidding me?
Should really start speedrunning his, time to say something super prejudicial. Oh, I read them. So, what are you doing here? Entry to this area is prohibited. Says you. Oh, well, the thing is...
Lord Chief Justice Strongheart granted us permission to investigate, on the condition that we didn't disturb anything.
And yet you've managed to disturb me. Ah! Never mind. State your business then. We just stated our business. Kind of just letting you know that we were here. You know, just to be polite, so we can just, like, stand next to you and pretend like you didn't exist. Come to think of it, there are quite a few things I'd like to ask Lord Van Zieks about. Not least of which is that awful case, even though it's nothing to do with this.
Ask away, Mr. Naruhodo. You won't know unless you try.
So, Clint. Was the name of your older brother, I understand, Lord Van Zieks. You Nipponese... Next he has to set his record for the endless mode. I always have to be on guard whenever you're around. So, you've been investigating me, have you? Oh, no, it's not like that. Well, alright, it is a bit like that. My older brother was also a prosecutor. He was the pride of the Van Zieks family. But tragically, A vicious killer took him from us.
The professor, you mean?
Is something funny? That's the extent of what you've discovered, is it? I shouldn't be surprised. Sorry, there's more to it then? Lackluster work is very much your trademark, isn't it? What does that say about you then? This never makes any sense! Edgeworth did this. Francisca did this. Godot did this. Godot made a little more sense because we were in fewer cases with him. We were only in what? 3 cases with him? And one of them he was the murderer in? But they say, oh man, you're such an idiot. How do you constantly get along while being such an idiot? And it's like, are we all going crazy here? Do we not remember that he hasn't lost to you in 2 whole games? Oh, that's right. She got shot in... Well, it's like 2.5, isn't it? Then Edgeworth comes back for 4. And there's only 4 cases in Justice for All. Okay, so I guess the thing with Francisca is like, you already beat up on Edgeworth, and that's like part of the reason she's so like, "Rrr." You beat up on her father, so she's like, "Rrr." So like, maybe she should give you some fucking respect instead of saying, you're a foolish fool, and it's like, you haven't beaten me yet. I must ban myself. I mean, we'll see. I don't... I don't have... I don't doubt that there could be some more character development as we learn more about what's going on. But he's pretty much just an asshole. Like, there's nothing likable about him at this point besides his cool design. Unless you just like assholes. See, this is Maxim's actual time to shine, and he's not even here. Proletarians. So, like, after 1 loss, I could see her still deluding herself that way. But after the second one, and she was still shitting on him in Trials and Tribulations. It's like, dude, you... Oof. You are like, you might be medically delusional. Okay, that's fair enough. I should make the distinction. Asshole individuals. Assholes themselves, that's a different story. If that truck is coming by again, gonna go out and start barking at him.
You've been hit by, you've been struck by a smooth coup.
Oh, you're too kind. Are you going to tar all Nipponese with the same brush next? So tell me, what's your interest in that historic incident?
As it happens, Lord Van Zieks, there's another rather curious case that's come to our attention. Are you aware of the Madame Two Spells Museum of Waxworth by any chance?
I am, naturally. I believe that since last month, I feature in one of the displays there for public scorn.
Of course, the infamous Reaper of the Bailey would have to be exhibited, wouldn't he? Well, particular waxwork has been stolen from the place and held for ransom.
Particular waxwork? Which? Wait, you mean...
Yes, it's the professor. Mr. Sholmes is investigating the case as we speak.
I was unaware of that.
He's turned as white as a sheet. Isn't he always kind of super fucking pale?
That, I will never refer to it as Trucku-chan.
Stop doing that.
Trucku. Kun is as far as I'll go in terms of affection. Trucku-kun. It's not like I like you or anything, Truck Baka. God damn. Alright, you're staying in here now. I don't know what you can find in
Jesus
the bar
fucking,
mat,
are you kidding me?
but that's enough. She's licking my arm profusely in apology.
Congratulations!
Hey, good job, CJ. Oh, couch. What? What? Here we go. No more barking. Barking's done. Got enough of Truck Coon for one day. Up here and lay down. Are the police trying to locate the engineer, Mr. Drebber, already? We already know that they are. Gina told us that. Surely that goes without saying. We're very keen to see him found as well. Trouble is, we don't have much to go on, aside from the description of the man we heard in court earlier. Which... Wait, where did she pull that up? It didn't seem like she pulled that from her bag. It seemed like she pulled it from her arm. Out of nowhere. Which, according to Professor Harebrain, was of a tall, thin gentleman who has straight white hair and wears a black monocle. So I was just wondering, I mean, I realize it's probably not possible, but
We'd very much appreciate any more clues you can give us.
Wow, Susato-san really knows how to take the bull by the horns. I know it's supposed to come from her large sleeves, but if you're gonna go through the trouble of making an alternate outfit, can't you do something to make that seem less obvious? Because now it just looks dumb. My skin is made of books. That'd be something. Fine, why not? I have a photograph of the man here from an investigation 10 years ago. Though it appears he already had the black monocle at the time. What? Oh, no, nothing. I was just surprised that you shared that with us. We all need the man's testimony in court tomorrow, which means we have to do everything we possibly can to track him down in the short time available. So why wouldn't I show you the photograph? Very logical. What is it about Lord Van Zieks? Sometimes I just can't work him out at all.
We got that photograph.
Man. Nice. Yo, what's up, Cosma? Ah, the file I requested for the trial tomorrow. Thank you. Are you alright?
Who is this man, Mr. Naruhodo?
Lord Van Zieks' apprentice, apparently. So I'm not the only one. Susato-san can see it too.
Lord Van Zieks? May we speak with your apprentice for a moment?
With him? Why?
Kazuma-sama!
Kazuma? I don't believe it.
Your posture, your presence can only be... It's you, isn't it, Kazuma-sama?
Felt something strange the very first time I encountered this cloaked figure. If I knew him somehow. Can it really be you, Kazuma? What? Wait! Too late. Yo, what's up, Cooper? Because I think it was last stream where I first started suspecting that was Kazuma. I didn't initially suspect that Kazuma was alive when we first saw like the picture of the apprentice. But once we like got there, I'm like, that might be, Kazuma might not be dead. They could just keep bringing him up too often. And then you figure out that Sholmes might have had reason to lie about him being dead, even though he wasn't. Then you didn't see the body anymore. You don't know why Sholmes was where he was. And we still don't know Kazuma's mission, so that could have been one elaborate ploy. I'm not a fan. I'm personally not a fan of the fake death. The fake death route. Unless, like, unless you throw something actually supernatural in there, then it's like, well, fucking, alright, whatever. Because we know that this universe has supernatural stuff. So it's like, he's a zombie or is like being mind controlled or something. That'd be a little more interesting than just, oh, he faked his death. The whole time. Thought he was dead, he wasn't. Oh! Okay. Fake deaths just do a lot to diminish the emotional impact. And it doesn't give me that particular high to find out that they were alive. I prefer if you kill a character, that character remain dead. It's not necessarily like, I'm not trying to make it seem like it's some objective narrative perspective, because it's not. It's just how I feel about it personally. I don't personally like the angle. I mean, he could secretly be Dracula. That'd be pretty funny. Just throw holy water on him. A miserable pile of secrets. Right, which, like I said, if there is some permanent consequence, like, I like the idea of bringing someone back, but they're, like, undead, and they're brought back to, like, torture the person that lost them, because they're still dead. They're not gonna be able to come back to life, but they're, like, kind of alive. Like, that sort of thing, that can be really emotionally like, charged and shit. That'd be great. But yeah. Like Walkfina said, it just... Not my personal taste in fiction, unless, you know, unless there's some sort of writer to it. What's going on here? It is odd that he seems completely, like, he seems genuinely unaware of what's happening. What is your interest in my apprentice exactly? You act as if you know the man or something. Well,
Since when has he been in your care? I don't recall you having an apprentice before I left Britain 6 months ago.
Lord Strongheart introduced him to me about 3 months ago now, with instructions to mentor him as a prosecutor. He didn't tell you why, did he? The man appears to be suffering from amnesia. He's forgotten every last detail about himself. What is with this universe? People suffering from amnesia, and the game just going, oh, well, fucking do your work anyway.
Jesus fucking, are you kidding me?
He would not be doing this right now. Have you never seen his face, though? Can't you tell he's a Nipponese?
He has amnesia?
Tomorrow, he will appear in court at my side. It's already down the end of the block, and I didn't feel like running after it in my slippers. I think the truck driver has amnesia. Yeah, this is my my console shelf. What? He's here to serve as my judicial assistant on Lord Strongheart's orders. He'll be in court with us? Now then, unless I'm much mistaken, I believe this conversation has run its course. Oh, yes, thank you. Definitely saw a reaction there. When Susato-san called out like that, it really seemed to hit a nerve. When she called out Cosmo-sama. I'm gonna try that next time. Talking to somebody I don't want to talk to.
What a terrible explosion it must have been. Even the steel girders have buckled and twisted in the blast.
What they call the birdcage was right in the middle of it all, just here.
But look, Mr. Naruhodo, that metal grill on the floor. It's as though it's designed to open.
It does, doesn't it?
The floor had opened at the precise moment the explosion occurred. The birdcage could have dropped through and disappeared from sight. I don't think there's any doubt that this was a very elaborate hoax, is there?
This wasn't here yesterday.
Really? If I'm not mistaken, it's the cage in which the victim was standing before he was apparently beamed through the air.
That's right, the birdcage. According to what Professor Harebrain said in court, it's made of wood.
Or more precisely, Japanese cypress, I think. And having been an explosion and then falling from a great height, it's relatively unharmed. What wonderfully durable construction, wouldn't you say, Mr. Naruhodo?
I understand that the forensic investigation team had taken it away yesterday to examine it. I suppose they must have brought it back here when they'd finished their work.
But sadly not with the body inside it.
No, that's right. I know we were given strict instructions not to touch anything, but still.
This is too important a piece of evidence to overlook. We might need it for the trial.
What, we just took the entire birdcage? No, we just made note of it, in which case we wouldn't have to touch anything to note it.
You'd already met that masked man, hadn't you, Mr. Naruhodo?
Well, I mean, didn't really have much of a conversation. Yes, yesterday, in fact, at Lord Van Zieks' office.
I see.
Their RPG pocket? What does Gina do then?
And if Cosmo-sama really is still alive, it means that Mr. Sholmes lied to us.
I know. We're gonna need to speak to him about that. You're going to have to leave now. The forensic investigation team are due to arrive shortly. If they find you here, it will cause problems. Sort of problems. Foreign affairs problems. Well, we could do without that. Alright, we'll be on our way. Let's go, Miss Susato.
Of course.
Gina? We were actually hoping that we could investigate the scene again. Yeah, alright. It's around here, you can do what you like. Oh, that's alright, is it? Why are we doing this again? Apparently we can't look around on the stage now because the forensic investigation team were at work. Did you do anything, Gina? In your capacity as Inspector Lestrade? Look, I'd like to help you out. Well, I'm just a trainee, ain't I? Ain't nothing I can do. But Sutu, yes. I see. Well, we have more of this green shit. Here's the scorching on the ground that you mentioned. Yes, and there's what's left of the green balloon's envelope. All clear evidence of the balloon that exploded on the day of the incident. Poor Professor Harebrain. I do feel sorry for him that his dreams have been shattered like this. Hey, Randy. Or popped, as it were. Someone's well and truly burst his bubble, as it were! Okay. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. If Ryu says it, then I should not have said it. I take full responsibility. For calling that terrible joke ahead of time. Absolutely on me. On me. My bad. I'm sorry you all had to endure that.
Jesus fucking, are you kidding me?
Yes, yes, yes. So one thing really interesting about the YouTube, how YouTube works with chatbot, that it doesn't count lurking hours, which is really annoying. So your hours might seem lower than they actually are, depending on like when you've been active and when you haven't been. That's the correct response. Ouch, I'm a bad person. Yes, yes you are. I'm a bad person. That's pretty goddamn funny.
Ah, the Crystal Tower. I can't believe I'm seeing it at such close proximity with my own eyes.
You've really been looking forward to the Great Exhibition, haven't you, Miss Susato?
Oh yes, when I found out that I had to return to Japan, I'm afraid I cursed my luck.
But here you are, back in London, gazing up at the magnificent tower.
I know. Perhaps I was wrong to curse my luck so harshly.
More like cursing your luck prematurely.
A shame that the symbolic landmark of the Great Exhibition has been damaged like that.
Yes, unfortunately, the birdcage crashed into the most prominent position possible. It's the gods giving us a warning, if you ask me. Man must travel under his own steam and not cut corners with instantaneous kinesis. I know, right? We tend to be more generous than real schools.
But imagine what might have happened if the birdcage had landed in a slightly different location. The death toll could have been far worse. So I think perhaps it was a blessing in disguise.
Well, the gods are benevolent, obviously. I did say it was just a warning. Man must travel under his own man must travel under his own steam, or next time birdcages will rain down on all of you.
Your faith is much stronger than I realized.
Well, how do you think I passed the entrance exam for Yume University? It wasn't by studying alone. I don't think that's everything.
We still need to... What am I missing? Gina, have a look at this photograph. I swear every time you do, it'll make you laugh. It's amazing looking down on everything from up there. I love high places, me. Really? If I'm honest, I can't stand looking down at the ground when I'm high up. I always have to look up. That's because you're a little bitch, Naruhodo. Or, sorry, Odo. Shame. I want to show you what it's like. But there ain't no point now. Why not? All you're gonna do is look up at the sky. I ain't gonna be able to look down on you. With you, sorry. I mean, I don't look down on you or nothing. If you don't want to do it, it's your choice. I didn't think I'd ever go up in a balloon, to be honest. Not in my whole life. But now I'm starting to think I might like to. Okay, I just like seeing Gina smile. There are a bunch of reporters at the trial today. One of them got a sketch of me in the witness stand. Oh, really? Yeah, I look pretty good, right? And that testimony of mine was spot on. I'm not sure that spot on is quite the right description. And look, it was in a special edition and all. I bought a copy. Oh, that's a lovely picture of you, Gina. I thought you couldn't read. What'd you take me for? I'm cramming every day. I see. I started at A, and I've already got all the way to E. Could be a long journey for you. Wait. I don't think there's anything else we can do here. Oh. Okay, now there's nothing else to do until the fit team is done. Yes! We have, for now. Talk to Sholmes? Oh my! No wonder it's called the House of Horrors. I'd like to turn on my heels and go straight home. Via the confectionery. Being scared makes you crave sweets. I can understand that. I was looking forward to a reunion after 6 months away, but... there's no sign of Mr. Sholmes anywhere. That's strange. He should be here investigating the abduction of the waxwork. Oh well, I suppose we'll just have to come back again later. Okay. Well, we could go with the insanity plea now.
Perfectly normal people don't normally have walls full of equations. You got chalk from somewhere. What's he doing?
Oh my! The whole wall of the cell is covered in mathematical equations.
He's still writing more, and he's still writing more now. Professor, sorry to interrupt.
Oh, Mr. Naruhodo. And who is this young lady? My name is Susato Mikotoba. I'm Mr. Naruhodo's judicial assistant. It's a pleasure to meet you, Professor. Oh, if only I'd met a refined young woman like you sooner. None of this would have happened. No, that's not logical. That makes no sense at all. Oh dear, I'm sorry if my presence here upsets you. I mean, God, I'm not trying to strut my stuff here, but you know. I owe you an apology too, Professor. I didn't manage to deliver what I promised you I would in court this morning. Oh no, 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 no! The whole thing, the whole miserable affair. It all happened because I had been such a complete and utter clot. Professor Harebrain? What have you been working on in your cell?
That's what he's saying. If Professor had gotten some maidens, should I add that emote? That seems like an emote we can use in many situations. Harebrain basically was like, if I had maidens when I was younger, I wouldn't have made that crazy hypothesis in the first place. He was maidenless, yes. No maidens. Imagine not having maidens. My client's actions were clearly justified on account of being maidenless. You know how many crimes people would get away with it? Get away with, like, they're maidenless. Ah, yes. Case dismissed. Oh, man. Oh, haha, you mean that? Oh dear, how embarrassing. I was suddenly struck by an idea, you see, and I simply had to write it down. The wall was all I had to hand. Oh, is it some new hypothesis? Something to surpass super high voltage instantaneous kinesis, maybe? No, actually, this is my autobiography. Your autobiography? How I was diddled and fiddled. Oh dear.
Jesus fucking, are you kidding me?
I would strongly suggest a change in your title. Woo-hoo-hoo. Where do people who plead maidenless go? So they're gonna create new institutions? Actually no, they're sentenced to what's that district? Isn't there like a district in Amsterdam or Germany or something? Somewhere in Europe that's known as like the brothel district or whatever. Red light district. It's supposed to be famous. I don't remember. Not Loving County. Good. Yeah. What are the he has even less chance of finding maidens in Loving County because there's like a whole 20 of them. Yeah, basically. I mean, government already makes money off of slave labor. Oh, sorry. Prisoner labor. So that wouldn't surprise me in the slightest. They made money doing that. A Zone of Maidens. By Albert Harebrain. I found I can represent my odd fortunes with only odd numbers in an ambitious set of simultaneous equations. Really? I'm going to have to pay back all the loans I took for the kinesis machine, you see. So it's going to be a new serial publication from next month. Part 1, an odd birth and an odd upbringing. He already put that together? That's pretty impressive. Can't beat the man's optimism, that's for sure. I see. Well, for now, would you mind if we talked a little more about the case? Why would you have to pay back the loan? I thought What's-His-Face was his benefactor. Why would he have to pay back the loan for something that his benefactor had already... Because benefactor's dead. I guess the issue is that the estate could sue. His estate could sue. But I still don't think it works out the way that he's presenting it. All right, later, Trep. Oh, yes, of course. I've been working through the numbers. I was diddled, I was fiddled by the pair of them. Dude. By Asman and by that aloof engineer, Drebber. Add sexual assault charges to Drebber's list of crimes. We're not going to have to sit through an explanation of all these equations, are we? No, you always have a choice to simply not do that. Everything I believed in has been turned on its head. My research, Mr. Asman, the kinesis machine, my hypothesis even. I'm so sorry if it's come to this. There was really no other way. No, it's not your fault. I wanted to protect my work. But in the end, there was nothing worth protecting. It was never my intention to deceive anyone. I didn't want to trick the public. No, of course you didn't. But in court this morning, I realized something. Oh? But in court this morning, I realized something. Oh? If you've done something wrong without knowing it, you've still done something wrong. Logically, it makes no difference if you are aware of it or not.
Ignorance is a poor excuse. The blame still lies with me. Oh, Professor. He believed in me this morning, you know. Barrack did. He believed in my hypothesis.
Well, I think that was just a necessary factor in the prosecution establishing its case.
No. Barrack wouldn't do something like that. I'm sure he genuinely believed it.
Did he?
I think I understand now. Why it was that he decided to take on the prosecution in my trial, I mean. After the terrible accident happened, nobody would believe in my hypothesis anymore. Not the police, not the prosecution service, not any lawyers even.
I feel like I dealt some kind of finishing blow there.
So if any other prosecutor had taken the case, it was anyone other than Barrack. I'm sure the prosecution would declare my hypothesis a complete and utter nonsense. And in that case, you have been declared a fraud yourself, Professor. Exactly, which would have been a fate worse than death for me. But Barrack insisted that I was a proper man of science from start to finish. You think that's why he... I know him very well indeed. He's an extremely kind-hearted soul. But that extremely kind-hearted soul spent all morning trying to paint you as a murderer, didn't he? Well, admittedly, that part of the analysis appears to have some flaws in it.
And what about the whole Reaper side of things? How does that fit into the kind-hearted soul idea?
He doesn't kill people! Jesus fucking Christ, why are we still on that?
His brother's soul might do it, but not him. Alright, everyone, remember. For those of you that came in late, I gotta set this as a thing-a-majig.
Do you think he set out to trick me from the very start?
I'm sorry to say, that does seem likely, yes.
When I first met him, he introduced himself as a wealthy financier. He looked over the paper I'd written and said my work would benefit all of humanity and must be pursued. He was so enthused. He was so emphatic. But in reality,
he was the mastermind of some vast criminal network, it seems.
I still can't believe it.
As the machine was essentially a set of decoration for some stage magic, it probably didn't require a large amount of investment, actually. But the scale of it wasn't some small trick. It was a very elaborate feat of deception.
All young scientists are full of hope about their burgeoning ideas, full of zeal. But none of us have any money. We want to do research, but we can't afford it. Many of us take on barely legal part-time work to try to earn just a few measly pennies to carry on.
Barely legal part-time work. Okay.
To go through all that, only to be taken for a complete fool. It's too rotten to believe.
It is, I agree. That's why we have to find those responsible and bring them to justice. Mr. Asmet is no more, of course, which leaves only the engineer.
Mr. Enoch Drebber.
Well, first off, you have to be on desktop, which is really annoying, but that's the limitation it has right now. To be able to click the allow gifts button. Lugia, where did you where was the button? Can you direct Cooper to the correct location? Oh, it also can't be a brand account. So if that is your brand account, that won't work. It's got to be the parent account. Is he an engineer or a magician or a swindler? It was about a year ago when Mr. Asman first brought Drebber to meet me at my laboratory. Since then, I've met him many times to discuss details about the kinesis machine. But at no point did you have any inkling that he was just an illusionist? Oh, he definitely wasn't just an illusionist. What do you mean? He was a wealth of deep scientific knowledge. There's no question that the man's a genuine scientist. It's instantly apparent in conversation. I see. But the wretched man deceived you, Professor. It's unforgivable. We must do everything we can to find him and bring him to justice. Are there no more clues you can give us as to his whereabouts? I'm sorry. You only ever discussed the kinesis machine, nothing else. Although just once, I did visit his workshop. What workshop? Drebber's enormous fabrication laboratory where he constructed my great machine. That's a big deal. Why didn't you mention this before? Not Drebber's workshop. Every chance we might find the man there. Not if he was smart. So you've been to Drebber's place of work then? Yes, just once, you understand. It was an enormous place. Plenty of room to construct the kinesis machine, you see. Where can we find it? We have to go there at once. There's a good chance that we'll find Drebber there. Well, yes, definitely. I'm sure, as in, I'm sure you're not going to want to hear this. But I have absolutely no idea where the workshop is at all. I'm so sorry. I was more than happy to say that. Oh, that's how I do this. Finally got my blue badge. Thank you for the 7 months, CJ. Much appreciated. Yeah, you just like, it's like a share thing, right? I was more than half expecting that. You see, I was blindfolded in the carriage the entire way there. He blindfolded you? He wasn't taking any chances then. The place was incredible, the pinnacle of modern engineering. Even the oil he used was the very best, a special French machine oil that's impossible to obtain in Britain. Ah, the indescribable scent of that imported oil. Perfumes across the world should forget their secret formula and use that instead. What do you think, Miss Susato? Order machine for your next birthday? Order machine? Order machine? For your next birthday? I've never used any kind of perfume, Miss Naruhodo, and I'm not sure I'd like to start with that. I don't suppose you know even part of the workshop's address, Professor. You don't have a business card for Mr. Drebber, for example? The man was clearly very cautious, Mr. Sato. I'm sure he would never— Aha! Yes, I do. He gave me his business card once. It's right here, look. What? Let me see that. Throw etiquette to the wind, why don't you? Enoch Drebber, engineer. I'm afraid that's all it says. There's no address. No, oh well, I can't say I'm surprised. Still, this could be useful. This dark smudge here. I think perhaps it's machine oil. Ah, yes, possibly. Professor Harebrain mentioned something about the oil Mr. Drebber uses, didn't he?
Said it was specially imported, very high quality oil that's impossible to obtain in Britain. Yes, that's right, but more importantly, that's more fragrant than the finest perfume. So, excuse me a moment. Oh, it doesn't appear to have any scent at all.
Don't worry. I expect that's just because there's such a tiny amount of it. He did look like a madman. Again, that insanity plea is building. All right, so I gotta look here. We gotta go back to the experiment stage. Maybe after we find something here. And I think we'll do that on Friday. Friday, I plan on going a little longer. I still have some fucking work I need to take care of today that I did yesterday. And the day before. And tomorrow. So that's 3 hours. That's good. I'll try to push to like 5-ish hours on Friday. So that's the plan. Which means I'll try to make sure to start a little earlier. Or on time. On time. I'll start on time. Sense. Yeah, thank you everybody for watching. Thank you, CJ, for re-upping your membership. Much appreciated. I'll see you guys in a couple days. I'll be back on Friday. I hope you guys have a great rest of your day. So until then, everyone, stream is adjourned.
That guy looks like he belongs at a Magic tournament.